Welcome everyone to another episode in this how-to series where we code a heist script for QBCore and ESX. First things first, thank you to everyone interacting with these videos. I truly appreciate it, and deep down I hope I can help at least some of you, even in the slightest way. Today's episode objectives remain pretty much the same as the previous one. However, we will be adding our custom door lock system, and I've elected to not use Ox door lock for the simple reason that I want to be able to lock the doors during certain times, because I think that is pretty fun. I think that's more important to me than anything else. And I also want to be able to trigger different mini games with each door. Right, so I've actually recorded this episode literally just before now, and because I'm in a new location today, I forgot to change my mic, so no mic audio, re-recording. Pretty fun. So I've already done quite a bit of work, so I'll just run through it with you guys. Okay. Quite simple, nothing extravagant. I added a config.doors. Each one has its own unique name. It has a door hash with backticks and the same unique name. And actually a lot has happened in the episode. I'm such a dunce sometimes. Model hash, it is the model hash of the door model. The door hash is technically its unique name in hash format. Right, that is also why we use the backticks, because it automatically returns a hash for that string. Right, coordinates, pretty self-explanatory, is the actual vector 3 of the door's location. Lock state can be a 0 or a 1 to indicate whether it is locked or unlocked. Right, I just added extra variables over here called event, mini name, and mini settings. So what I can do alternatively is do mini game with its own little table, have a name and settings. Right, in the settings we just slap that little table, and in the name we just do that. Okay, right, these are only related to Glow minigames. It's just a fun thing I found by googling minigames for FiveM. It's on GitHub, available to download. If you want the link, it'll be in the Discord. Right. The event is because I want to try and trigger an event specific to this door. And the same with the second one. So let me just add that. This one already has its own event. Obviously I want to trigger stage 2 with it. Just add a comma over there. And same math, but I think that's milliseconds, so that'd be 30 and this would be 15, just to make it a bit harder. Maybe 20 seconds. Let's test it out. And it'll trigger stage 2. So the way I want to go about creating our own door locking functionality is quite simple, and that is by using these things. Right, we'll initiate a global state for our doors, and that'll happen in a thread within our server file, our server script. As you can see here, what I did, I'm not sure how in tune you are with my videos and scripts, but I elected to take out Heist timer's initialization from this thread right? It'll be fine if we create the thread and do some things. What I do notice is that we'll need a while do, and not an if, right? So while our heist is triggered, we will run this heist timer. Okay. And if not, if the heist isn't triggered, we will just reinitialize heist timer. As you can see here as well, once the timer reaches 0, we set the heist trigger to false. We trigger a heist termination event and set that to null and reinitialize it. Okay, that is more logical. So actually we don't need it. Bro, I'm just mad at myself, I'm sorry, because I should have realized we have a wait already, a wait function. And a thread is supposed to be a repeating thing. So a thread is technically a continuous function that keeps running as long as the script is active, right? Regardless of any other variables, obviously unless you trigger it with a function. Right, anyway, past that, we have our door lock thread. In our door lock thread, we have a wait, and we basically create a global state for our doors. Right. We could alternatively put it in this thread, however, this one only updates every minute. As for this one, which updates every 0 ticks, we could just, well, every tick technically, but now every 1 millisecond, which is fine. So it'll update really frequently. This shouldn't be taxing on the script or the system at all, unless you've got like a million doors, but this is purely for 2 doors for this specific script. Right, in our server customize, I have an export for glow minigames, and I have the trigger minigame with its own little function and all these thingies. Right. Now, what I want to do is, obviously we have to take in our source. I also need to take in what? We take in mini name, and we also take in mini settings. So settings is mini settings, and we'll give it settings. Math over here would be mini name, and whenever the minigame has been completed successfully, we will run this piece of code. Whenever it's unsuccessful, we will run this piece of code. Right, so when it is unsuccessful, I would like to trigger a police notif. Right, if it is successful, we open said door, and what? And that is it. Right, we just open the door. We'll just do local src is equal to source, and I believe this is actually a client event. After I went and removed it from my client, I am now back at putting it into the client again. I'm so awake. I'm so awake, I swear. Okay, trigger minigame. Let's see here real quick. Right, this will be a client event, and we take that out. So trigger event, _dh client, trigger minigame, door name not minigame, door name not mini settings. This would change to minigame dot name, and this would change dot minigame dot settings. Here we go. Right, so what I wanted to do is pretty simple. I want a function that gets called create door zones, and with a function it runs through our doors in our config and creates a box zone for each of those doors. Now, I do realize that we have a bit of an issue. So in our variables, what I think I should be doing is the following. Door zones is equal to empty table right, then I do this, door zones. Aha, I can do door zones dot zone. Ooh, how can I do this? Zones k is equal to that. And then what I can do is door zones k dot mini game dot I guess what we can do is do an equal, because then we can change its name and settings in one go. Right? Zones.minigame is equal to door.minigame. I think that's better. I mean, maybe that works, maybe it doesn't. Maybe do dot zone. So door zones k dot zone will become the zone, and let's just make it a, we'll call it box. That's fine as well. So door zones first entry box would be the zone, and the first entry's minigame would be the doors minigame. And yeah, this is yeah. Self and door name. So let's stick to self and k. Let's do self like that, and k for the door name. On enter and on exit, we don't care. We could just leave it a general one. Yeah, let's leave it general so that whenever we enter a door zone, let's just be very specific with our names here so that there's no doubt about it. Okay, so for each of the doors we create a little box zone. We set its coordinates to door.coordinates. So for each door in our config doors, we will set the following as well as the minigame. So it should theoretically automatically run through all of this code and assign each of these doors its own box zone, right? If you're wondering how I got the model hash and coordinates, I'll show you rather than speak too much. So while FiveM opens, we can continue working on some things. Okay, so that is that for the moment. In our client, where we have the inside door zone function, right? Inside door zone. I don't know how to check what zone we are in. Is there actually something that could tell us? I'm not sure. That would be nice. Like if you have multiple zones, how would you know in which zone you are? Zones shared. Currently, basic support on servers that some will not work, such as on enter and exit and inside. So we've got a table on enter inside. Function self table. Hold up. Zones can be deleted and cleared from the script and can be used to recreate a zone later. Yeah, what I'm thinking, array, name, poly, point. The name is just a type, so either polybox or sphere, is it not? No. Poly is just the name of it. Am I right or am I wrong? Box. Okay, so I'm thinking specifically, well, we will have unique zones. How can we solve this creatively? I'm just trying to think how we can make each interaction on the door unique in the sense that, I mean, what we can do is have the zones like this, no problem. And inside the zone, right, we basically check to which door we are closest. And that'll trigger whatever minigame. I think that'll be the easiest way. So instead of taking in door name, and instead of having these, I guess we just keep it to on enter, on exit, and inside, because I believe it has to remain that for Ox to be able to create the zones. So let's not mess around with that. Obviously we'll be close enough if we can press a control. We could do c dot door dot key maybe. I was trying to think. Doors, items, door unlock, head dot key, just keep it to E. I'm sorry. Or have another line here, config dot door is equal to, let's have a key, that'll be 38, and we'll have a label, and we'll have press, or just have E like that. Unlock door. Okay. And then what? And then what? Door dot key. Yeah, that's fine. Well, we have to save this first before this can read it. Can label. Yeah, that's fine. Then we have to check whether or not we have the correct item. Inside? Huh. How would we get the name of the zone we are in? That would be nice. I guess we do this. Right. So we create a box zone. If a point exists inside the zone, returning a boolean. Because the thought that runs through my mind is we could possibly run this, and instead of zone like that, we certainly have door zones summing dot box. Right, and in that summing we'll have a K again, and we'll have to run through a loop. Right, what loop? Well, this loop. Okay. We'll cut that and slap it in here. And if that, what do we want in here? Self dot no get entity coords. get entity coordinates of self.id. So we want to get our own coordinates and see if the zone contains us. If it does, we do current door is equal to, let's just make it null for now. It'll be a local current door and local current minigame is also going to be null. However, current door will become door hash, I believe, door hash, and current minigame would equal to door dot minigame. It is going to be a table, right? That's just a maybe. I'm not even sure if this will work. So this is probably gonna be a bit hectic for the system to handle. So maybe let's have a function here, which is gonna be local. Local function get door data end, just so that we can run this info through this function. So when we're inside, we only trigger the function once. I'd like to only trigger it once. So maybe local checked is false. Then if local checked false, copy. Let's do that. Maybe do while current door is null, do end. Right, we'll wait about 10 milliseconds. I guess we'll have a local waiter just because, and have this 10,000. Nah, let's have it 5,000. And we'll do waiter is equal to waiter minus 10. And then if waiter is equal to 0, then break. End. I'm not even sure if this will work, but what I'm thinking is we wait until we've received a current door, or door data for that matter. So what I'll do is I'll do this current door, right, and current minigame is equal to get door data, and we will return these values. So when we are inside, so if not checked, then we'll wait, checked becomes true, and then we end. Right, so initially we wouldn't have checked the data, so we'll wait until data exists, otherwise, you know, we just break out and checked becomes true. Then we can do what? So basically grab the data, and we'll only do this once whilst inside, right? Because inside, I guess this will get triggered multiple times. So let's scratch that, because I don't think it'll work that way. So this will run a bunch of times anyway. So then we get the current door and door data. And I'm wondering, would this be different from this? Most likely. Well, most likely not. But we'll see. We can only do that by testing. So I guess I'll test this on my own, and then I'll figure it out. Right. So we're going to trigger what minigame? We are going to trigger... We are going to trigger current minigame dot name and current minigame dot settings. How do we get that? By running the get door data. Right, so the rest of the information is pretty similar to the whatchamacallit, the checks that we did in our above one for our spherical zone. It's just a shame we can't feed the box zones different data. Okay, no matter. I just wish that these could be different. Let's try it this way. Let us just try it this way. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we'll just change it. Right. So, I guess let us let that be. Quickly hop into the server. Actually, there might not be enough time for it. So what I'll do is I'll thank you guys for watching, and I truly do appreciate your continued support. We'll continue this next episode. So until then, I'll go figure some things out on my side so that we can lock the door during certain times, and we'll have our own custom door lock system. Right, once we pick the lock to the door itself, the front door, only then will we trigger our heist start, and obviously on a failed lockpick or interaction, we will then give a police trigger alert as we have here, and we'll also trigger different events for like stealing the phones and so forth. Right, until next time guys, peace out.